this shit come with
Real motherfucking hot girl shit. Okay, that's not my intro, but welcome back to Beauty Begins With You, because we are all what? Beautiful. Okay, period. So the reason why I did my hot girl intro is because today we're going to go over this makeup look and talk about Megan Thee Stallion's documentary that she just came out with. And when I say, period, sis, she did that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you comment your thoughts below. What you took away from the documentary, what your favorite part of the documentary is. I first want to start off by saying what is meant for you will always happen to you. Come hill or high water, no barriers, no nothing will ever get in the way of you making your impact. And that's what I think about when I think of Megan Thee Stallion. She has always been this powerful woman who has overcame so much adversity that would end people in their tracks. No matter what has happened in her life, she has found a way to push through. And watching her documentary really peeled back the layers for me to see even more of her strength. And I want to say this to anyone who's going through stuff. I want to say this also to myself as a reminder is we are powerful even in our most vulnerable hours. Even when we are on the brink of wanting to cry, you are still powerful, because it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of strength to cry and admit, hey, I have a problem. Hey, I am not okay. And she did just that. One thing that I took away from this documentary specifically was I didn't remember how young she was. Like, she's only 2 years younger than me, but everything that she had really went through, she was extremely young. One part that made me cry the most, because it was a reflection on my own situation. The only reason I was introduced to Megan Thee Stallion was because of my aunt. Shout out to Monica Jump. Okay, period. She would find all these new artists. She found Megan Thee Stallion. She found Doja Cat. She found Lizzo. And I was like, girl, what are you, FBI of the freaking new artists? And every single artist she has found, my aunt, they have blown up into greatness in some shape or way. So when I say this scene when she was in the hospital and coming to terms that her mother was not coming back from a vegetative state, she hadn't made the decision to pull the plug. And I hadn't made that very similar decision, not for my mom, but my aunt. My aunt's like my second mom. And 2 years ago, I had made the decision to pull the plug and let her pass away in peace, because she did not want to live in a vegetative state. And I brought her home so she could pass away in her home, which was her final wish prior to getting to that point. Now, it is eerie to see the amount of trauma that she has endured, especially with the Tory Lanez situation. It just speaks even more volume. When she was, now, I just want y'all to know I'm mentioning stuff. So if you haven't watched it, please watch it. And this can be somewhat triggering. So please also, if you're in therapy, go to see a therapist, talk to your friend, get some self-soothing going. Okay? But there was this specific scene that just was so eerie when she was in her bed and she was talking about how she was in bed for a few days and she was just expressing how dark her thoughts has became, how dark it was to the point that she needed to call 911 to get the help that she needed. You know how much power and strength and willpower that takes to say, hey, I might want to unalive myself, or I might want to no longer be here, but you know what? I have 1 ounce left of strength to make this call. Not everyone has that. And I've worked with individuals with suicide ideation on a regular basis and so forth. And the amount of power and strength that these individuals possess, it's always in awe. And I'm like, you got this. You may not see it today. You may not recognize it in this moment, but you are the strength. You are the example. You are the exception. And I also had to figure that out for myself when I would spend hours just crying, hours just trying to put myself together, go to work, be there for people, and not attend to my own mental health. 2 years ago was a very much a dark period. Shoot, last year was even a dark period for me. And I'm just getting to the other side. And I did this all in the privacy of my home. So for someone to have to go through this in such a public way and still end up on top, you can't say nothing to them. You can't say absolutely not a dang on motherfucking thing, because it is super difficult to constantly be screaming out for help, to constantly be like, hey, see me, hear me, trust me, believe me. And that just brings me to the other part of the documentary when she had the interview, I think, with Gil. And they were so fixated and so focused on, well, did you have sex with Tory Lane? Who cares? She was shot, right? Why does her sexual relationship with the perpetrator have anything to do with being a victim of gun violence? It is insane to me that we live in a world that focus more on make an excuse for the person who caused harm and put in the victim time after time after time on trial. And even after this documentary, there's still going to be a bunch of people who's going to say something ignorant, who's going to continue this narrative that is not even true. But the one thing for sure is she's getting her get back. I went to her concert this year with my mom, and we had an amazing time. She is an amazing performer. Her and Gorilla, amazing performers, right? But you can tell from just watching this documentaries from where she has started. Like, I know she has so many like accomplishments, but I couldn't even remember that it was so back to 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 back. Like, she was made for this, and she had an amazing foundation built into her because of her mother. She had that confidence. And the beautiful thing that she said that stood out to me was, you know, my mom gave me confidence. My mom was the person who I would listen to and look for that validation. Like, not those words specifically, but once she lost her mom, she spoke to her journey of refinding Megan P, protecting Megan P, and using her persona as her bodyguard, right? Her protector. Because the world is a really fucked up place. And especially for Black women. And especially for a Black woman who is dark skinned, who is all about her body, knows her worth, and knows for 100% that she runs this shit. Right? But I think it's beauty in her finding herself, increasing her self-esteem, and recognizing, hey, I'm still Megan motherfucking Thee Stallion, and these bitches gonna say what the fuck they gotta say, but you know what? I don't even care anymore. And it plays in her music, and it plays in how she carries herself, and it plays in who she's connected with. I imagine there's someone who has experienced this at some point in time where you're like, nah, fuck what people gotta say. fuck fuck the stereotyping, fuck the judgment. It just makes me think of my own situation where I've been told, I've been judged. It's like, oh, you're super aggressive because you advocate. You're super, you're not attracted. You're this, you're not. You should settle for less. You don't deserve it. You're not worthy. But motherfucker, I am worthy. And the same testament of being a hottie is knowing your worth, knowing your value, being confident in yourself, being confident in your body. And that's another reason why I'm so connected, because when I think of Beauty Begins With You, I think of that. I think it doesn't matter if you fit the standards that society sets out. It matters how you feel about yourself, because everyone is going to have an opinion of you, okay? But guess what? The most important opinion is going to be you, of who you are and who you want to be. Because who we show up to be in this world, who we motherfucking show up to be in this world, is 100% up to us after some point. And this documentary that Megan portrayed, well, not even portrayed, that she opened the door to allow us to see her deepest, darkest self, really showcase, hey, we motherfucking got this. We ain't playing no games. And everything that is for you will always be for you. No matter what barriers, no matter what obstacles gets in the way. Notice when motherfuckers overcome continuously versus those who can put on a show, give fakeness, and in order to maximize themselves or their career, but then they start to burn out and they start to die down because it wasn't meant for them. It wasn't meant for them to stay in that position because they were not meant for that. They were meant for something else, but somehow they finessed their way into the spotlight that was for someone else. You cannot walk on or walk over other people in order to get to the top and not crumble. I think she made a statement around like it's hard to be in this industry and still be true to myself. And that's motherfucking facts, because we see a lot of people that get in the industry, the entertainment, and they're willing to do anything for money. They're willing to do anything to keep the fame, to be famous. And that's very scary. Those people like that scare me. If you are so hungry for that fame in a way that it's addicting, baby, I'm afraid of you a little bit. But overall, I think it was a really amazing documentary. I love the cartoon edits. I think that really hit home, and I love how she connected everything with her family as well, because a big part of who she is part of her family, is her roots, and she carries on for her motherfucking city. And I think that's awesome. I think, again, when you face so much adversity and you're still able to continue to climb and improve and be who you want to be and show up as yourself and stay true to yourself, there's no way that you're not going to succeed. No matter what, there is no way that you're not going to make it. You can create your own lane, you can open your own doors, and you can make it. And I think I see this all the time, like on social media, we see people who are genuinely really succeeding. I love seeing good people win. Like, I motherfucking love it. It makes me so excited. I'll be clapping him like, yes, let's go. And it just makes me think of like the Reese's, right? Who the fuck did I marry? And her movie coming out, right? I think it's connected with Netflix. The Jewels, very demure, very cutesy. we don't act too much, right? We got this. She deserves everything she is getting. All the goodness and people who are winning, I'm always rooting for you. Whether you're underdog and you're no longer the underdog and you're still shining and you're still living in your truth, I think that's an amazing thing. Because not everyone can say they got somewhere because of being authentically themselves. A lot of people have to put on an act or put on a show. And I'm not talking about alter ego and so forth. It's a lot of sometimes the fakeness we see on social media, and other people gravitate to it. I mean, I'm not even gonna hold you. I've gravitated to fakeness, but I take a step back and I was like, dang, this person's not who they say they are. Their action, their words is not mixing, and I don't fuck with that. But my hopes on this motherfucking channel, let me stop cussing, is I bring happiness, joy, and realness. Because, yeah. Yeah, we got too many fake people.